Okay, I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to sew. This sewing method is specifically for what we're doing in class. It is not how you sew clothes together, okay? I may teach you that, but this one is how to sew one piece on top of another piece, okay? So here we go. So I've already got my thread, right, and my needle, and I've got my two pieces of material. So what you're gonna do, okay, is I'm gonna come up, okay? I'm gonna come up, and then I'm in my material. So I've come up in my material, I pull my thread, I go to the eye of my needle, and then I pull, and then I go down right next door, right here, right next door. See, I'm not very far from the other piece of thread, and then I pull my needle through, put my hand on the eye of the needle, and then I'm going to pull until I get to the loop. Okay, do you see the loop? Then I'm going to put my needle through the loop, put my hand back on the eye of the material. I'm going to go ahead and pull. Okay, and I know I have my first stitch done correctly because the material will just hang right off the thread. Okay, and so I'm sorry, before I started this I should have had my material pinned. Okay, please excuse me. So then I'm going to bring, so here's my stitch, and I'm going to bring my needle right there, just right next door, just a teeny bit of space. So I'm going to bring my needle up. Okay, there it is. Bring my needle up, pull, eye of the needle, I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm going to do behind the thread, in front of the thread, but don't make it too much. Behind the thread, in front of the thread, and then I have an imaginary line that I have across here. So I have an imaginary line, I pull it through, and there's my first stitch. Behind the thread, in front of the thread, behind the thread, in front of the thread. So you can see where the thread is, and the needle is behind the thread, and then it comes out in front of the thread. And then you pull it through. Make sure it doesn't get caught on your fabric. Okay, there you go. Okay, and then we keep doing that till the end. Behind the thread, in front of the thread. Okay, and we pull it through. Make sure your finger is on the eye of the needle, and you can see that we have a line. And so I'm about equidistant from the top of the fabric to the line of the material. So this is a sample, and so I'm going to, I don't know if I have a ruler here, but if I had one, I'd use a ruler. Oops. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to have a ruler. Okay. And so, see, that's the line that I'm sewing on. It's not a very good line, sorry, because I'm really doing it real time. But behind the thread, in front of the thread, on the line. Behind the thread, in front of the thread, on the line. Behind the thread, whoops, I got caught on my pin. Okay. Behind the thread, in front of the thread, on the line. What happens if you make a big stitch? Okay, this is what it looks like on the back. And if you make a big stitch, so I'm going to make a big one so you can see the difference. Hold on one second. I'm still going behind the thread, in front of the thread, but see how far I am from my other stitch. See, now I'm all the way over here. I had my stitch over here, and now I'm all the way over here. That is a hole. Okay, so I go behind the line, in front of the line. So if you make the stitches too big, it's a hole. So I can literally take the head of a pin and I can stick it through the hole where I should have sewn. If I try to do that on my other stitches, ow, I already stuck myself because I can't get the head of the pin through. Okay, so you want to make sure that you keep your stitches small so that you don't end up having holes. Okay, all right, cool. So you're going to do that all the way to the end of the fabric. When the when the pin gets in the way, like I'm at the end and it's fine and the material is stable, I can take the pin out, put it back in a pin cushion, and I can still finish, right? And it's not in my way because I just got stuck again. So once your material is almost done, you can take your stitches, your pins out so that you don't stick yourself. Okay, so now I am at the end. This is what it looks like. Okay, so it's actually sewn together. See, it's sewn together. That's what the back looks like. Okay, so now what you're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the knot. So I have two pieces of material.